Hi, welcome to Ikate's Crossing. Okay, so I wanted to do a little bit on Rider-Waite-Smith type of decks. Now, I know everyone sort of says to you, this is the beginner deck, this is the deck you should buy, but there are so many Rider-Waite-Smith decks out there, but it doesn't matter which one you choose. But let's sort of have a look. Let's put the indie decks aside for a minute. Let's just put these two aside. And the before and after, and the vice versa, and the universal tarot. Right, so Rider-Waite-Smith. Now you will find there's the plaid backs there. Okay, so you can see. So if you're beginning tarot, everyone sort of recommends that you use a Rider-Waite-Smith. Now, you can or you cannot, you don't have to, but this is one alternative. But I want to show you some of the different Rider-Waite-Smith decks you can sort of get to show you just what's out there. Now, Rider-Waite-Smith, created by Arthur, sorry, Arthur E. Waite and Pamela Coleman Smith. And about 1908 it was sort of created and sort of published, sort of beginning. They say 1909, 1910. Not 100% sure exactly, but just sort of gives you an idea. US Games, of course. Basic Rider-Waite-Smith. Of course, Los Scarabeo do have some different ones, which I will show you, and you will find Rider-Waite-Smith type decks created by different artists, and you will find them in different kits as well, with great little guidebooks. But there's a lot of information online in regards to the Rider-Waite-Smith. It can allow you to sort of start developing in yourself. So just to give you an idea, okay, so you can see that colorway. Now compare it. Okay, so that's the US Games one, and there's lots of different varieties and things like that. And Los Scarabeo, again, this is Smith Waite. Borderless version, you can see the different color way there. It's much more muted. And then there's lots of varieties of different decks. So you can sort of see the difference in the colorways. So it's about finding what works for you. Okay, it's about finding what works in colors. So there's so much out there. I just wanted to sort of show you what's available. Now you will find some kits. This is one by Amanda Hall. Some people like it, some people don't, because it's not the same colorways. Maybe there are some differences, but basically similar. Now it does give you a few keywords and things. Some I like, some I don't. Everybody's different with it. As you can see, they're more photos than drawings or paintings. It's a sort of a photo sort of imagery type, even though we know they're not photos as such, but it does give you that sort of look as though that's done like photos. So you will find little kits and things, or Rider-Waite-Smith type decks that do have keywords and things like that, especially if you're learning. It's a great starter kit if that's what you want to do. It does allow you to sort of begin to use it straight out of the box without diving into the guidebook or anything too much. So you can sort of see the differences there. Okay, so we've gone that way. Now, also, you will find there is what's called a universal tarot, which is another sort of Rider-Waite-Smith. Now, this is the mini. As you can see, the images are slightly different. the mini. So the characters are slightly different in that. You will get the similarities with them, but the colorways again's different. This is a great little mini deck. I love taking this if I'm going somewhere and I want a Rider-Waite-Smith type of deck. The universal one is a great one to sort of take on the go if I just want a little mini one. You'll find lots of minis out there, lots of sort of smaller decks, which are quite good, some poker size and things like that. So really good little Rider-Waite-Smith to take with you. Now, the other thing you'll find with the Rider-Waite-Smith decks, you'll find decks that are created from another perspective. For example, you've got the before and after. So let's have a look at the full. Let's grab the full. And then we can see whenever you try to find a card, isn't it? Just so. Okay, so there we've got the full there. And the after. Here's the full before. Now these are low scarabeo, so they are a little bit different in their imagery, and of course it's the before and after. Of course it's going to be a little bit different. There we go. So here we've got the before, and this is the after. Now let's have a look using, of course, the low scarabeo one again, because we're doing low scarabeo. So let's have a look at. Let's grab the full. So you can sort of see the journey, if you like. So what happened in the past, what's happening in the present, and then what's happening in the future, or what could happen in the future, should I say. We don't know. It depends on whether. There we are. So here you've got him sort of bending down, looking at the flowers and things like that. This is where the dog is right now. He's trying to warn him. He's sort of standing on the edge. The dog's going, hey, 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 stop. Too late. Fell over. So you can sort of see the before, the present, and the future. So just to show you. So that's different again. Now let's have a look at the vice versa. Now this is from the front and from behind. So let's have a look here. Well, night and day. Okay, so let's have a look at the full. So we can sort of see. It's a good way to sort of have a look at the different decks. So vice versa, again, low scarabeo. And you've got, so there are other decks too. There's like In Between, New Vision. There's lots of different Rider-Waite-Smith type of decks that give you the image from a different perspective. Here we go. Here's the full here. So yeah, this is the daytime, or sort of the evening, the sense of sunset, sunrise, if you like. And then the back shows you from behind. So here he's looking behind and he's leaving behind the past. Sort of feels like he's leaving behind what was. Here he's stepping into new possibilities. So kind of interesting there to look at from a different perspective. So that's another thing you could do in regards to Rider-Waite Smith. Are you going to before, after, vice versa, new vision, in between is another one. There's decks that do all sorts of bits and pieces in regards to the Rider-Waite Smith. So you can see there is some variety there, which is quite interesting to look at. I just wanted to give you a bit of an alternative to look at in regards to Rider-Waite Smith. Okay, now you will find some artists, some creators, not really artists, but creators and artists in some respect, that create their own Rider-Waite Smith in a different sort of colorway. And we've got this one here. This is called Rider. It was given to me as a gift from Etsy, from Etsy. So a friend of mine purchased it for me and sent it to me. Again, it's the Rider-Waite Smith imagery. It does give you, but it's slightly sort of a darker, antique-y, vintage type of look. I think it just does give you something a little different. I love this. I love this Rider-Waite Smith deck, but it's called Rider. So again, it's got that difference to it. Now, one that was hand painted, created, added a little bit of a twist to it, was an independent Kickstarter, and you'll find lots of them on Kickstarter where artists have sort of drawn the Rider-Waite Smith imagery but then added a little twist to it, like the five of wands, and then you've got seven of wands, should I say, and then you've got this here, a little crow here. Here you've got the hanged man, and you've got a little mouse up the top here chewing the rope. With the Fool, the rose looks like it's got a face on it. The rock looks like a cat. There's all sorts of little bits and pieces you can see when you're looking at the imagery here. So this one I thought was really, really good. Nine of Swords, Queen of Cups. You got a little bottle here with Ace of Cups. The Knight of Cups got fish on his robe, which is kind of cool. So you can see the Four of Cups, instead of a hand out of a cloud for the Four of Cups with being hand, it's on a fishing rod. So again, there's some little twists to these cards. Now this was done by Tarot Oracle, which you can find on Etsy. I'm not sure if he's still selling any of these decks. He did have some decks that didn't have boxes or things. So anyway, really good little indie deck there. So that's my Rider-Waite Smith type of decks that I have in my collection. As you can see, this is just a very minimal number of Rider-Waite Smith decks that you could choose from, that you can dive into. I definitely recommend having a good look at the different colorways, the different ideas, the perceptions with Rider-Waite Smith decks. There are so much to choose from, which I think is really, really cool. So many decks to choose from. So many decks you can dive into in some way. So I love that with Rider-Waite Smith. Now, I've never been a huge fan of Rider-Waite Smith to start with. I struggled to begin reading with it. I actually started using Native American Tarot, but everybody's different. But if you're looking at Rider-Waite Smith as a beginner deck, you want to look at something, you can see that there are a lot of decks to choose from. You'll find decks on Make Playing Cards, Printer Studios, and Game Crafter, Drive Through. So there are sort of print-on-demand decks. There are indie decks through Etsy, but please make sure it's the artist or the creator. If it's something a bit different, don't forget mass market, of course, is Amazon. Do not go on third-party decks unless you know it's the creator with the deck. Make sure it's Amazon that's actually selling them, for them to make sure that they are not counterfeit or any way. Make sure it's a bookstore that is reputable. Unfortunately, there are some bookstores that are selling counterfeit, so do be very, very careful. Make sure they do have a little white book, or a proper guidebook in some sets. Do check online with the publishers, is a good way to do it. Maybe go through US Games if you're in the States, or Los Caribbean. Could be an alternative for buying some of the Rider-Waite Smith type decks. So definitely recommend having a look at different Rider-Waite Smith decks if that's something that interests you. Okay, so as I put them all away, just to give you an idea, that's my collection anyway of Rider-Waite Smith type decks, and that's definitely something that you could look into if that was something that was important to you. Okay, I feel like I'm just trying to sort of make a bit of space. Okay, so that's it from me. Don't forget to check the links down below. Check the links on my channel. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you know when the next video will be uploaded. Don't forget to check out my Ko-Fi account. Yeah, Ko-Fi. Go check out my Ko-Fi if you want a private reading with me. If you want to support the channel in any way, Ko-Fi is a really good way to do that. I really, really appreciate the support as well. Thank you to my Ko-Fi members, my supporters. Thank you for those that are subscribed and like the videos. Make sure you like the videos. It does help the algorithm. Do comment as well. If that's let me know what your favorite Rider-Waite Smith decks are. Let me know if you're going to do a VR or anything like that. Show me your Rider-Waite Smith decks. Okay, that's it from me. Take care and blessed be.